last night Golden State took a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. And it's the fourth year that Golden State has played Cleveland. They, of course, have won 2 out of 3. The only year that Cleveland won, Cleveland came back from that 3-1 series lead that Golden State had. Draymond Green was ejected and suspended from a game, and the series turned.
That was the year the Warriors won the 73.
Yes. LeBron was the MVP of that series because he had the block. And LeBron could end up being the MVP of this series, losing because he scored 51 in game 1. He only scored 30 last night.
I doubt it. Curry keeps playing like this.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to bring up, that I feel like Steph Curry, I don't know that he's underrated, but he gets a little disrespected. He's won 2 MVPs. He's about to win his 3rd ring, and it's mostly because of him. There are other great players. I understand they've added Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson's great. Draymond Green, great player. But Steph Curry has been the best player until KD came. And he's just an unbelievable player that he had 9 threes last night. And he's kind of become kind of a forgotten man in the league in a way in terms of the top guys, because it's LeBron, it's KD. This year it was James Harden.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not those players, but I mean, he's damn good. He's great. And some of the threes he was throwing up last night were ridiculous. I mean, the one he just kind of tossed up from 40 feet.
Away.
Yeah, I mean, you can't defend that, but the Cavs defense as a whole just wasn't very good. But you're right. I mean, they have so many weapons, it's hard to guard them all. And Jay Williams was kind of breaking down the film, showing what the lapses defensively that Cleveland have. Well, it's, first of all, Cleveland's player for player isn't a great defensive team. They're not even good. And when you have so many weapons for Golden State that spread the floor like they do with so many shooters, they're impossible to guard.
And they're doing this without Iguodala. Because Iguodala is a key player. Yes, he comes off the bench, but when they go with Iguodala and they spread the floor with all those shooters, they are even tougher to beat.
But like you said, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of tired of the Warriors. They're going to win another one. That'll be 3. And then next year, they'll be the favorite again.
And I don't think, frankly, you can blame LeBron.
They'll be the favorite again if LeBron doesn't go to Houston.
But
here's the thing.
That's what I want to talk about. I don't think you can even blame LeBron anymore for just recognizing that, you know, what was he supposed to just waste his career and just play with losers? The only super team, however you acquire it.
That's what he did in the first place.
Right, and but he was ahead of the curve. He realized that's what it takes. This is the It doesn't matter what Magic did or Bird or even Jordan.
By the way, both of those
doesn't
guys,
matter. It's completely
Magic
irrelevant.
And Bird had super teams.
They did too. They didn't have to leave.
They might not have been, formulated the same way that Miami was or this version of Cleveland was, but those teams were full of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, for the most part, besides guys like Kareem, but they were developed within their team. I mean, they were drafted and acquired by them.
It's a different league, though.
So it's a little different.
It's just different the way it works today. And I just don't think anybody can have any sort of negative feelings about it if he wants to actually. Why should he just sit there and play with losers?
He said he's tired of losing.
Right. So go out there, and he wants to compete for a championship. He's supposed to just blow his career just so some guy could be happy he stayed in Cleveland.
All right, so what's the best potential landing spot?
I don't know.
I'm
not smart enough to know. I don't know how they can make that work.
He's tight with Chris Paul. All right. They're boys. They've been on the banana boat together. Chris Paul, already saw stories, was already recruiting him. I think LeBron is tired of carrying the load so much. Like, that was my impression watching the game last night, that he's just tired.
He's still
good enough.
He's still
good enough to get his 30 and have, 15 assists or whatever. But I don't think he wants to be a guy who's forced to score 40 or 50 points. And so if he goes to a team with James Harden, who can flat out score with the best of them, and Chris Paul, who can ball handle, now all of a sudden the load is easier on him and he can pick a spot.
Yeah, and he's a facilitator.
Maybe, who knows?
Which is what he likes to do.
We heard L.A. for months. We heard L.A. go out there with Paul George and a couple other guys, and maybe he can do some damage out there. I don't know where he's going to be, but and Eric's right. Until he joins a team with a couple other superstars, he's not going to win. I mean, unless guys want to come join him in Cleveland, which I doubt.
But we sleep on the Steph Curry thing to this extent. Cleveland was kind of hanging in there throughout the game. They would come within 7 points, 5 points, 4 points, and then just those threes. The threes are so big in the game, and it's just a dagger when you play good defense and Steph Curry still hits like the fadeaway 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to beat.
Sucks the life out of you.
It does.
Yeah, unless you can go back down and match 3 for 3. You go down there and get a 2, but
And they
Curry
do
hits a 3.
occasionally.
They're going to gain on you. Yeah, it's tough. And Jay Williams, we were watching it during the break when he was breaking down the film, and they were kind of talking about a play where they lost Curry in the corner, and LeBron ended up just kind of standing still in the lane. And Williams is saying LeBron's he's got to be superhuman. You've got to go out there and contest that shot because Larry Nance Jr. kind of flew by him. Well, it's not that he doesn't want to do it. Physically, his body wants to do it, but he can't. I mean, he is tired. I mean, this season has drained him physically. And if he could do more, he would. It's hard to guard those guys. That's the toughest team in the league to guard.